Hello and welcome to the analysis of the Hindu newspaper dated January 30th, 2023. In this video, we are going to talk about two important newspaper articles which are going to be very important, very significant for the civil services examination. So let's start this video with the first important newspaper article. Now this particular newspaper article talks about the Ukraine war and what are the lessons we can draw from it. And apart from it, we are also going to talk about the capabilities of Indians in terms of UAVs or the missiles, or what are the new technologies that are being developed. Now this kind of newspaper article becomes important for our GS paper 3, that is achievements of Indians in science and technology, indigenization of technology and developing new technology. Let's first understand the context of it, and then we will talk about the major pointers in this particular newspaper article. Now this particular newspaper article talks about the fact that missiles and UAVs are likely to be a major future threat, calling for a mitigation, and it calls for a mitigation strategy as a part of integrated air defense, and it also underlines the need for a comprehensive air defense solution. Now this is the biggest takeaway for India, that you need to develop your war capabilities, you need to develop all the equipments like UAVs and the missiles. For example, for ground-based air defenses, the most important aspect is survivability against suppression and destruction of the air defense system, right? You need to have an operational air defense system. That is the basic requirement of it, and the deconfliction of the air defense missiles with interceptors is in exclusive engagement zones, and the decentralized execution of the air defense is a must. And we have also seen it in the Ukrainian war, when Ukrainians GBATs, that is the ground-based air defenses, shot down almost 50% of the Russian cruise missiles. Now, seeing at these figures, we can say that the development of the ground-based air defenses is very important for us. Now, loitering munitions are another major threat that has emerged in the war, posing asymmetric challenge to both armor as well as the air defenses. And analysis has shown that best air defenses against them are the high-rate gun systems, which provide better optic sights. We also need the fragmented ammunition and the active electronically scanned array radars, so that you can intercept all the missiles that are coming in. And the man pads have been noticed to be highly effective when in range and with the night vision. Man pads are what? The equipments which are used to basically destroy the aircrafts, right? You are basically able to destroy the aircrafts with the man pads, right? And this is the area that Indian Army has been looking to modernize for a while with limited success. We have seen limited success, but we are developing all our capabilities in this regard. And as part of the modernization efforts, a 200 crore networking and automation project on the lines of Indian Air Force's integrated air command and controller system, that is ICCS network, is now ready at this particular point of time. And the Defense Acquisition Council, which met on January 10, has given its approval for the procurement of Vishoreds, which are very short range air defense systems, missiles, which are being developed by basically the DRDO, which come with the coming of the Vishoreds, we will be able to intercept the missiles. And apart from it, at the short range level, the army has the indigenous Akash surface to air missiles, that is the SAMs, and the SAMs are very quick, and they are under development by the DRDO, and they have a range of 25 to 30 kilometers. And at the next range, the medium range surface to air missiles, that is MRSAMs project, jointly developed by the DRDO with Israel, has now entered production, sources said. Now with the development of all the ground-based air defenses, India is going to have more robust air defense system. We are going to intercept the enemy missiles, right? So this is the basic essence of this particular newspaper article, and these are the learnings we have drawn from the Ukrainian war, Ukraine-Russia war, right? And learnings from the war itself is very, very important for us to develop our own capabilities. Now this is it regarding this particular newspaper article. Let's now head to the next important newspaper article. Now this particular newspaper article is coming from the world section, and it talks about the terror attacks in Israel. Now, these kinds of articles are not very important for us in the civil services examination, but it becomes very important for us to understand the Israel-Palestine conflict. And that is why it forms the basis of our syllabus in GS paper 2, that is the effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interest. Right. So let's first understand the context of it, and then we will understand the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, Israeli forces on Sunday prepared to demolish the family home of a Palestinian man who killed 7 persons near synagogue as part of measures to punish the relatives of the attackers. Now, this particular attacker had basically attacked the state of Israel a while back, and to basically retaliate against it, they have done this particular thing. Israeli forces, we are not to comment upon what is happening on, but we will comment about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, Israel-Palestine conflict is basically an age-old tussle over identity and land, starting with Jerusalem. Now, the Palestinians say that Jerusalem is ours. The Israelis say the Jerusalem is ours. Now, in the first Arab-Israel War of 1948, the Israelis captured the western half of the city, and Jordan took the eastern part, which the Israel later captured and annexed. And since then, and in 1967 also, we saw a war which was basically 6 or 7 days war, and since then Israel has expanded settlements in the East Jerusalem. The Palestinians want to make East Jerusalem the capital of their yet to be formed state. Palestine is not a state at this particular point of time. They capture some of the territories, but they are not internationally recognized. And if you see this particular map, then all the areas which you see in the pink have been basically captured by the state of Israel, right? This Gaza Strip, then we have the Golan Heights, which were captured from the Syria. All of these areas have been basically captured by the Israel. They say that Israel is these particular areas belong to the Israelis because we have been there from the historical times. Now, the Palestinians say that this is our land and you should get out of here. And this is basically the conflict between the Israel and Palestine. Now, Israel sees the whole city of Jerusalem as its unified eternal capital, whereas the Palestinian leadership denies for any compromise unless East Jerusalem is recognized as the capital of future Palestinian state. And this is not basically happening at this particular point of time. No demands of the Palestinians are being met by the Israelis. No demands of the Israelis are being met by the Palestinian. And this is basically the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, what are the factors triggering the conflict? Basically, the first one is the Hamas rule in the Palestine. Now, Hamas is an organization which was founded in 1987, and it is a violent offshoot of the Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood, which seeks to raise the banner of Allah over every inch of Palestine through violent jihad. Now, Muslim Brotherhood basically wants the Islamic rule. It wants some of the areas in which they can establish their own Islamic laws, and it can rule according to the Islam's according to the tenets of the Islam, right? So this is the basic Hamas, which is in the Palestine, which has become rogue, which is very violent, and they call for the Muslim Brotherhood. And apart from it, we can also see the political instability in both the states. Palestine basically is not recognized by most of the countries in the worldwide, and Israel basically does not have a very robust leadership. It has a robust leadership, I mean, but there are a lot of stagnations in it. There are a lot of changes in the presidencies, and at this particular point of time, we have a strong leader like the Benjamin Netanyahu, but earlier also we have seen that in a couple of months there was changes in the leadership, right? And apart from it, there is also the divided Israel. The Israelis are also very highly divided. The Arabian Israelis, who are just 20% of the population, identify with the Palestinians due to the same ethnicity, and the Arab Israelis and the far-right community of the Israel are engaging in civil war-like activities inside the country. Now, this leads to what is known as the terrorist attacks in the Jerusalem and the areas surrounding it. all the time we hear about it, right? And apart from it, there are issues with the Palestinian people as well. The ground sentiments of the Palestinians are also changing, and the majority of them saying they do not want a two-state solution, right? They want their own states, and this poses a big problem, right? So these are some of the factors triggering the conflict. And what about the India's role? Basically, India believes that the peace talks are only way ahead for stability to come in the region and ending this decades-old conflict. In the basic terms of the diplomacy, India is very cautious regarding it, doesn't choose many of the sides, and India has close relationship with the both states and it supports Palestine, but choosing one over the other is not wise for the Indians, right? However, Palestine wants to some extent that India should act as an interlocutor, as their faith does not lie much with the US, China, or Russia. They want that India should basically work for their own interest. India maintains that we are very sympathetic towards you, where we are very compassionate about you, but we want to take the sides in the Israel-Palestine conflict, and this is the India's stand. It maintains that humanity comes first, and that is the basic stand Indians have, right? So this is it regarding this particular newspaper article, and this is it for the day. Thank you from my side. Do like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. Have a good day. Bye.